The Mercedes-Benz E-Class can trace its lineage all the way back to 1936 with the W15. Fast forward a couple years to 1984 where they produced the W124, which was the first to have the E-Class badging on the back of the car. After that, there was then the W210, which was the ones with the 4 headlight design, the W211, which is the prettier version of the W210 and was the first car to come with brake-by-wire technology. And then you had the W211, which came after that, which had 2 versions, one with split lights and one with not split lights. And then you have this, the W213 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. And today we'll go for a quick tour around the E-Class to see what Mercedes-Benz's previous E-Class generation model looked like. Now, this is the E220D, which means underneath the hood, it had a 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine, which makes about 175 kilowatts of power and 400 newton meters of torque. You could tell that this was the W213 with its 2 eyelash design over here. And something cool about these lights is these are the multi-beam Mercedes-Benz headlights, which means that they can see the road ahead of you, turn with the corners with you, and then dip themselves when they see oncoming traffic or an oncoming sign. It says Mercedes-Benz in the lights. Now, because this is the diesel model, it's made for more efficiency. So in the front, underneath the car, there are some active flaps that go up and down to kind of change the aerodynamics of the car. This car already has a very good drag coefficient of about 0.26. And above the headlights, we then have the ILS sensor, and this looks out for other cars on the road. So for your emergency braking system, it looks out for rain and it looks out for light. So that's where your automatic lights and wipers are controlled from, straight from the eye of the vehicle over here. The Mercedes E-Class is known for its innovation in its in-class designs. Like I said before, the W211 was the first to have brake-by-wire technology. Some other crazy innovative things that this car has is this has the Mercedes-Benz 9G automatic gearbox. Now, the difference between this and the W212's gearbox is the W212 had a 7-speed gearbox. This was a 9-speed gearbox, but the way that they designed the gearbox in this car meant it took up the exact same amount of space as the previous generation. This meant that in the same kind of housing, you could get a more efficient car because you could use more gears. And this meant that at higher speeds, the car would be in a higher gear and use less fuel, making the car more efficient. This was the first car to have what Mercedes calls a hydro-pneumatic torque converter, which sounds pretty expensive to replace. Now, the E-Class, being a mid-sized family sedan, has a 540-litre boot, which means that if you really wanted to, you could fit 3 sets of golf clubs into the trunk comfortably. And in terms of fuel, the E-Class has a 66-litre fuel tank and charges about 5 litres per 100 kilometers. You can kind of squeeze out 850 to 950 kilometers of range out of this car. But if you're driving really economically and efficiently, you could probably get this to 1,000 kilometers of range off of one tank. And one weird thing that I found out from watching YouTube videos is this petrol cap is electric. Well, the mechanism that controls it is electric, which is very overkill. Now, in the back of the E-Class, because this is a mid-size family sedan, you've got quite a lot of space in the back here. The seat is in my driving position, and me having long legs, I'm okay in the back here. I could sit here comfortably for a while. Now, in terms of amenities back here, all you pretty much have is the climate control screen to look at, and you can increase and decrease your temperature as well as your fan speed. And then in the top here, you get some reading lights for yourself, but unlike old E-Classes, you don't get the dome that used to be in the middle over here, which actually looked quite cool back in the day. When you're inside the car, in the front seat, the story changes a little bit. It feels a lot more premium and luxurious over here, whereas I think the S-Class, you know, the bigger sister to this, is more of the enjoyment is in the back. So in this car, you've got a nice 2 digital screens in front of you, really large, really nice, and the main driver screen, you can kind of configure it a lot to do a lot of things with it. One of the craziest things that I've seen is that you can make 3 maps. You can make a map come up where the rev counter is, a map come up in the middle, and a map come up on the left. So you can never really be lost in this car. Besides that, I like the way that the dash is kind of swooping like this, where this kind of storage center and cup holder in the middle, and where the climate control buttons are, is where the new E-Class has screens, or the new Mercedes-Benz design is more just screens, which I don't like that much. I like this kind of design with its jet-inspired air vents. This design looks a bit more classy in my opinion. In terms of the steering wheel, I'd say that the capacitive touch and the buttons on the steering wheel, they're all pretty intuitive, but when you're going at faster speeds, this kind of little capacitive touch mouse thing is not that, it doesn't feel that responsive for when you're at a bit higher speeds. But other than that, you know, they're easy to use and they're easy to control, and once you do get a hang of it, it is easy to control the screens, which I do like about that. I do like that about it. Wow. And then other than that, it's got some LEDs over, which look nice and give the car a nice vibe. In terms of controlling the center screen, you can either control it from the steering wheel, or you can control it from this mouse pad thing and the scroll wheel, the touchpad and the scroll wheel. I prefer the scroll wheel because the touchpad feels kind of slower to do, and when you're on the move, you're not going to use the touchpad. Most likely your passenger is going to use the touchpad. You'd rather use the little capacitive thing on the steering wheel because you can use your thumb with it, and it kind of feels like you're playing on a phone. So, but I know in the newer Mercedes-Benz models, they've opted out for the scroll wheel, which I'm pretty sad about because I thought the scroll wheel was pretty cool. And even though the E-Class isn't as long as the S-Class, it is quite a long car. But with the mirrors and the cameras and the steering wheel, it's really light. Even when you turn the wheel, it kind of turns not just like this, but it also angles itself like this for a better turning radius. Now I know this was a very short and quick video, but I didn't really have long with it. I hope that I could have shown you at least a couple cool things about the E-Class. Now, some of the filler images that I've given are not of the exact same E-Class. They're of this slightly newer E-Class, and the only difference is this one is now a 350 with the AMG pack, which the AMG packs add a couple things such as a different front bumper, different rear bumper, a couple of new designs on the inside, and this one is more silver with gloss black inside. But other than that, they're pretty much the same car and they do the exact same thing. But anyways, this has been a video on the W213 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Thank you for watching. My name is Tawanda. This has been Fueled, and I'll see you next time. Now, the way that this gearbox was able to do this was